Gransberry A&M University. Welcome to Hillmatic 2025. Students, this is your campus, your time.
You know.
Yeah, this is your hill. To our leaders, to the ones who build Panthers day by day.
We build Panthers.
We are the legacy.
And your footprints leave a mark on this field every Saturday night. This game is bigger than football. When our team hits this field, we roar as one. Because on this hill, it's about that dog. It's about being disciplined. It's about being obedient and about having that grit. So Panthers, are you ready?
Panther Nation, welcome back, y'all. It's another week of the Tremaine Jackson Coaches Show, where Panther football talks back. I am excited. I'm your host, Karl Mays, and definitely, y'all, it is week 10. We got 3 games left on our way to the SWAC championship. I can say that, Coach. Yeah, y'all should be clapping. Y'all should be clapping. Y'all should be clapping. Clap it up, clap it up. Coach is always giving me that eye roll like, man, we taking it a week at a time. But listen, y'all, I'm excited to be back. Shout out to our sponsors, Mustang Cat. Shout out to Houston Memorial. Definitely, we going to make sure that we continue to shout out quotes because they let us take over their patio. It's an absolutely wonderful time. And I'm excited again, joined by my wonderful co-host and friend. That's right, y'all. The nice Mrs. Natasha Gransberry in the building. Natasha, what up?
What's up? What's up? How y'all doing today?
Oh, I'm excited. Listen, we're going to talk football today, but man, listen. Coach, I know it makes you kind of feel a certain way when I talk futuristic. I do that because I had to channel my energy of bouncing back. We're going to get ready to get into this thing real lovely. I like how you reposition your microphone. That means you say, I'm going to go off how we did the show weeks before when we won.
Yeah, we real superstitious.
Yeah, it's all good. It's all good to be superstitious. But listen, we got to talk about it, man. You know, we just came off a loss this past weekend to Alabama State University. And I know, man, you know, Panther Nation out there, they got a little discombobulated. We got them back on track. But at the end of the day, let's talk about what do you think the good, the bad, and ugly was in that game this past weekend?
Yeah, you know, the bad and the what you can see is we turned the ball over 4 times.
4 times.
You turn the football over 4 times, you should get beat by 40.
Yeah.
That's what should happen. And so the fact that we turned the ball over 4 times and we still had a chance to win in the end, you know, it's one of those deals to where you go, what if we hadn't have done this, we hadn't have done that. But at the end of the day, they were a really good football team. We knew that they were. And we just got to get ourselves ready to keep competing. We did get better in some aspects, even though, I'm not one of those guys that a loss is a lesson. Man, you lost. It is what it is. I ain't, you know, that's like seeking comfort in losing, right? Like, oh, it's a lesson. No, we lost.
Yeah.
We lost. And so what we had to do, though, was find the growth in the loss, right?
Right.
And so we started fast on offense. We did some really good things there. Defensively, we didn't start as fast, but we came back and clamped down. But we got some issues that we still got to get fixed. And when you're playing good football teams and you got issues, they'll find them and expose them.
That's right.
And so we got to make sure that we continue to work on those things we need to work on.
So, you know, and Natasha, I want to know your feeling on this. You know, at one point, if I'm not mistaken, we were up 21-7.
Yep.
At that point, when things started to kind of change, what was the morale like? What do you think, Natasha, you know, just from your vision, and then we swing it to Coach, but what do you think, you know, kind of changed in your viewership from where you viewed it from?
I'm kind of superstitious too, and I was like, man, here come the weather. And so it's like right when everything looked like we were just on this path that it was going to look like, even though it was 21-7, it still felt like it was about to be a shootout.
Yeah.
And so when the weather came, it was like, okay, well, maybe we can take the edge because we know our run game looks good. And that showed up in the stat line. I know you say no lessons, but when you have 2 guys, your quarterback and your star running back getting over 100 yards and rushing, that says a lot about being in the
Yep.
trenches in your line,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
And I felt like that's where we were headed. And I still felt that we had opportunities just because the stats say 4 turnovers, 2 of them were a little ticky-tack.
Yeah.
So I felt like we were still in there. You know, when you get tip turnovers, there's no tip turnover stat.
Yeah.
The point is, you say the ball was short, you underthrew it, but at the end of the day, there's still some opportunity.
Yeah.
And defense stood up on some of those. It's like you said, you should get beat by 40, but we didn't. So I felt like defense kept trying to answer the call when we would have a turnover.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's just, you know, a good football team, a hungry football team. They knew we were playing for the hopes of hosting. They were playing for we want an opportunity. And I think that makes you a little bit more hungry. You know about being a dog, and when you're being a dog about things, sometimes the person who has a little bit more edge finds another way.
Well, let me say this: our fans were hoping we wanted to host.
Correct.
We are in no position as a program to be thinking about hosting anything. we just trying to make sure the buses come on time.
Right.
Like we are so day by day, and we hear all this stuff, right? And it's really exciting for people that aren't in our building. Like, that's really cool. We can host something. Man, I don't care where we play.
Right.
I could care. We can go play on Mars or Pluto for all I care. What you want to do is you want to set yourself up week to week to be playing in December. Prairie View A&M, you know, we ain't just been known for just no lights out Decembers all the time, right?
That's right.
And so we're teaching people how to win. We're teaching young men how to win. And how you win today is by staying focused on what's in front of you. And so I thought it was cute that our fans were like, yeah, let's host. Man, we were playing Andrew Body and the Hornets.
Yes.
Like, that's what we were playing. And so when you're playing really good people, you got to really focus on the matter at hand. And here's the deal. We knew this. If we weren't successful, we still would be in control of what we want to be in control of. But now we got to go to Alabama A&M.
Yes.
So it don't get no easier for them Panthers, right? Like, it's all of a sudden, ain't nobody hurt no more when the Panthers come to town.
Right.
Everybody was hurt all year.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody hurt no more.
Now they ready to play.
Joker threw 15 interceptions. He looked like Tom Brady out there against the Panthers. And so it just is what it is. And so for us, we just got to make sure we continue to grow.
So Coach, you know, I like that, first of all. But you know, I want to get in the grains of everything.
Yeah.
The same question I asked Natasha, I was like, you know, that was from a macro standpoint. From a micro standpoint, when we were up 21-7 and things started to change, what was the temperature of the players in, you know, and how did you all make whatever adjustments you needed to make in order to be able to counter what needed to be countered?
The players were really excited. I was like, everybody need to chill. Everybody need to calm down because we've never done that.
Right.
Right? Like, we've never done that. And we're so new still until we continuously do things that we've never done, right? We about to get on a flight. We've never flown before as a program. And so when we went up 14-0, I went, oh, boy. This ain't good. We used to being in fights.
Right.
And so when you used to being in fights and you come out and you done hit them with a two-piece and they woozy,
right,
you might start thinking that you're a real champion.
Right.
Instead of just continuing the fight, right? And so we got to teach how to be up with a lead. And so it was some things that we went back to on Sunday saying, all right, man, when you go up 21-7, this is what has to happen. We go up 14-0 and give up a kickoff return. Well, that's because somebody was super excited that we had just scored 14 and
was
Joker
living in
his
that
lane.
euphoria.
And here we go, right? And so we love excitement. We thrive off enthusiasm. We're an enthusiastic program, but we got to stay focused, right? And so we've challenged our guys not to look at the scoreboard. Don't look. Don't listen to the fans. They'll lie to you. Hell, everybody thought we made the kick in the end, and they was cheering. They was the referee
going crazy.
So don't listen to nobody. Just keep staying focused on the matter at hand, and that's how we're doing it.
I love it, man. Listen, y'all, we're going to be right back. Y'all don't move. Whatever you do, stay locked in because we got more to talk to Coach about. In the meantime, it's the Tremaine Jackson Coaches Show where Panther Football talks back. We'll be right back.
Imagine you are her or him. Like everyone, a sprain, tear, or nagging ache can set you back. Until your expert orthopedic team at Houston Methodist uses advanced technology to personalize a treatment plan that's minimally invasive, heals your pain, and gets you back to life on your terms. That's the difference between practicing medicine and leading it for you. Houston Methodist, leading medicine.
And we're back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Tremaine Jackson Coaches Show. Listen, Coach, there's another thing I wanted to make sure we got a chance to ask. And I like to be able to ask you questions that I think and I feel like not just alumni, but fans of Prairie View are thinking. Mm-hmm. When we have something in our hands, we're in full control of our destiny, and you have a hiccup like that, what are you thinking, not just to be able to tell the team and get them back on track, but what are you thinking in that moment, knowing that we have 3 games left?
It makes me nervous. And I'm not a nervous guy, right? Like, I ain't scared of much.
Right.
I don't get nervous, but it makes me nervous because we're dealing with guys and people in our organization that we haven't been here before.
Right.
And so when you haven't been somewhere before, then you're navigating how you're going to be in that moment, right? And so you got to be very meticulous in the steps that you take, the way that you talk, the way that we present things to the team, so that they can handle and stay like we were in the beginning.
Yeah.
In the beginning, we didn't know anything. Right. We just knew, man, we had to go, we had to fight, we had to scratch, we had to claw, we had to do whatever we had to do to leave with a win. But that's where we want to stay. I don't like hearing coaches go at press conferences, we got to go back to the basics. You listen to guys in the league and big major college football, they lose a game and they go, we got to go back to the basics. What are you going to do? We're just going to go back to the basics. We just try to stay basic. We try to stay basic in what we do in our approach, and we tell our team every day, we're not going to know what the 2025 Prairie View A&M football team is until December 14th.
That's right.
December 14th, we'll all wake up, and if we had just played and won a game the day before, we were really good. If we've been home for 2 weeks, we ain't no good.
We ain't no good.
And if we have a recruiting weekend before December 14th, we're not very good.
Yeah.
And so it's just one of those deals to where we just got to stay focused on the matter at hand. We just wanted to win today's practice. That was hard. That was hard. I'm coming from something hard just now.
Right.
That was hard, just keeping guys focused because there's so many things outside telling them what they're about to do before they even do it.
Got it. So, Natasha, from definitely a woman who is immersed into football, when you were watching, knowing that, we were immersed around some Alabama State fans, when you sit and you watch, you're watching not just from your perspective, but from a coach's perspective, you're watching some of the intricacies from a woman's perspective. What were your thoughts as things were unfolding?
I love that you said from a woman perspective, but I'm just going to say from fan with no gender.
Okay.
It just in the sense that, I felt some of the energy you were concerned about from the stands, meaning that I felt like there were moments when the players were a little too excited and had nervous tension and just like, I got to do something. I got to make a big play. And I don't think it's so much that you're trying to stay basic, because nobody at Prairie View A&M is basic.
You better say that.
I think it's more so that you want to keep the main thing the main thing.
That's right.
And if you on offense, the goal is to get a first down until you're in the end zone, right? And if you're on defense, it's to get them off the field.
That's right.
And so for me, that's what I felt. I felt like there was this, everybody wanted to be the hero instead of just playing the game. And around the campus and the talks as a fan, I wasn't thinking about the hosting. Me, I just wanted to win, right? And I'm like that on collegiate level, the pro level, and I see that in any time. If it's some 7-year-olds out there, I want them to win each snap. I come from a family of football players, and that's what I tell them. Mm-hmm. Win the snap. You don't know if you getting the next snap. You need to make that coach think, don't take you out because you did your job, right?
Love it.
And so that's what I think as a fan that they need help with, and that would be the energy. You got football down. I'm not trying to get in that part, but from the standpoint of just mental, and as you said, December 14th, who will be our leader? Because it's not so much that the programs say go back to the basics. they have somebody in the locker room that's telling them, this is what coach did last year. This is who we are. Get on board, right? And I think that will go into year 2. Even from now, you're setting that tone that we play for the first down. We don't play to host. We don't play to brag. He said we play for first down, and I like that.
No.
Because that's what I tell people if they go to a game with me. You bring your energy. Your job is to cheer. You're a fan, I want you to cheer. That's your job.
Well, I'm definitely going, you know what, I'm going to tell the truth, shame the devil. I like being the first of everything. Coach, you stay in that lane, you do what you do. I'm your back, though. I tell you, I'm your alter ego. Just so that y'all know, that's Coach Jack. I am the king. The fact of the matter is, I wanted to hose it. I'm like, because I like to kick in the door, wave in the 4-4.
That's right.
We're going to make something happen. But I do understand where you're coming from, Natasha. The one thing I want to make sure we talk about, Coach, because this is where I love how you support your players and you support your coaches. When Cam threw those interceptions, everybody talking, put in, what is his name? Tevin. Put him in. I was like, we got to stay with where we are. You stayed with him all the way through. Please talk about that, because to me that's an elephant in the room. People were feeling a certain way. Everybody become a coach. Ain't nobody been through all of what you've gone through to be able to get where you are. Let's talk about that. In the midst of the interceptions being thrown and being able to stay with that young man, what were your thoughts?
If you look at where we came from and where we've been, right, in this role that we're in right now, the one thing we've had is really good quarterbacks. We've always had really good quarterback play. It's a gut feeling with quarterbacks. I felt like in November, it wasn't time to play musical chairs because they remember November. That's what we talked to the team about. Everybody remembers November. If you're not worried about basketball at your school right now, then that means you're still playing good enough football to be talked about, right?
My man.
And so they remember November. So what I wasn't going to allow was it wasn't going to be known that in November we playing musical chairs at quarterback. We're going to ride or die. And that's where we were. We had September. We had October to find our way. But, man, they remember November. And most of all, I remember November. And so when we look back over this season, we just didn't feel like it was the time to do that, right? And so it wasn't a gut feeling that told me I need to make a change. And I think that's the problem with our world. We throw people away because we have this emotion, right? Let's just do something different. Well, who's to say the other guy wasn't gonna throw no picks? Like it was too close of a game. It was one of those deals. And at the end of the day, Cam Peters gave us the best chance to come back and win, right? And so we had our opportunity. It wasn't like we never had an opportunity. And so we just chose to go a different route. We lined up for a field goal at the end. We put in another kicker.
You just talked about that on the show last week.
Yeah.
So last week, I thought that was very interesting. Very interesting. We talked about it last week. He said, we got a freshman kicker. Mm-hmm. At some point, we're going to have to trust him and put him out there in the midst of, and I immediately thought about the show last week when you put him in.
So now you know I don't lie.
You don't lie.
Right? These coaches get up here and be lying all the time on TV. I ain't one of them, right? Like, if I tell you we're going to do something, that's probably what we're going to do, right? Unless a situation dictates something different. That dude makes 54, 55-yard field goals in practice. It was the situation. I said, you ready to go? And here was the lesson for him. Everybody's always ready to go till it's time to go. Right? He didn't know when that moment was coming. He had no idea when he walked in the stadium that was going to be the situation. And he had just told me on Thursday, I came here to kick field goals. Okay. I came here to be the head coach.
That's right.
And so his moment came, and I thought he was ready for the moment. He just was wide left on the kick. Man, I love our kids because we put our kids through a lot. And so when you know what somebody's made from, you don't have no problem testing their metal when it's time to get tested.
I love that answer, man. Listen, you don't lie because it came to fruition. You definitely stood on business. He came out there, and I thought, and this is what, because I don't know how other people thought, and I'm going to say this before we go to break. I thought about, because it was 4th and 16 or something like that, right?
Yep.
And you had to go with the best percentage because the percentage of being able to get a first down on 4th and 16 was slim to none. So you had to go with, and he was in range of his kicking. You had to go with the best possible way.
Well, and real quick.
Okay.
Not only is it the best possible percentage, but we had just took a loss and had an incompletion.
That's right.
So what gave me any confidence we was going to hook it up down
And
the
all
field?
of a sudden just do it.
And listen, man, we've been lucky enough this year. Some of the things that have happened for us in this season is lucky enough. You don't get this many breaks in football. So we did what we came to do, which was tie the game up. We probably still be out there playing.
Hey, he said a mouthful. Listen, I don't want y'all to go anywhere because definitely we got one of our guest head coaches of the women's volleyball at Prairie View A&M University. Y'all got to get a chance to check out. Dottie Hampton will be with us when we come back. Don't move. We'll be right back.
You got to say leaders in swag.
At Prairie View A&M University Athletics, we're building champion student athletes and a championship culture.
It's a culture of excellence in how we compete, how we graduate, and how we show up in our community.
Your gift to the Panther Athletic Fund makes it all possible, from scholarships to equipment, academics, and recruitment.
Join us, help us build champions, help us build championship culture, and give today.
Panther Nation, we are back to the Tremaine Jackson Coaches Show where Panther football talks back. But right now, we got a special guest here with us, y'all. Definitely somebody who is leading the SWAC right now. We're going to let her tell us a little bit about it. But if y'all would, especially my studio audience out there, give a warm welcome, round of applause to Prairie View A&M University's head women's volleyball coach. Y'all give it up, Dottie Hampton. Now, I'm going to start out, Dottie. We got to jump right into it because, you know, Natasha was over here blowing you up to me.
Yes.
But I want the world to know, first of all, everybody's kind of distracted by football. Coach said something earlier. They all over the place. But let's talk about what you and these young ladies are doing right now. Tell us, first of all, what the record is, how we got there, and what you expect this particular year.
We are the quiet storm, so go ahead.
Ooh, I like it.
And just
I like it.
pay attention to football. We're quietly doing our thing over here. We are 12-1. We're #1 in the SWAC right now.
Yeah, y'all should be clapping out there.
Yeah.
Our studio audience, y'all should be clapping. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, 3 matches to go in the season for us, and then some teams have 4, maybe 5 matches to go, but 3 matches to go in the season. We have senior night Saturday at 6 o'clock against Texas Southern at home.
6 o'clock, Texas Southern at home. Y'all need to be there at the Dome. If you're not doing anything, make sure you're there. As a plug. Go ahead, keep going.
Matches are free, so come on in.
That's right, that's right.
So come on in.
But this is what's good. I want to make sure we get a chance so people get to know Dottie Hampton. Because it sounds like Natasha already know you. I'm getting to know you, but I want the people to get to know you a little bit. Tell us what program you came from. See, this is what happens when you're on the patio. That's real life. It's real life. We are live. We out here. But
You sound like a suburb person. You jumping because of horn honking.
Let me tell you, I am definitely from there. And look, my nerves are still bad. I'm growing though. I'm growing. But Dottie, tell us what program you come from and and how you got to Prairie View.
Just some things. Okay, so I've been coaching for 21 years now.
Wow.
In different divisions. I started in television though before I became a coach. I worked for NBC for 5 years. So, but I started coaching for 20. I've been coaching for 20 years. I came from UNC Wilmington, which is in Wilmington, North Carolina, prior to being here. And I got a call one day from Miss Pete in the athletic department and did not ask me if I wanted to be a coach here at PV. She told me I was going to be the head coach at PV. And I was like, well, I don't know. And she said, no, you will be. So come on out.
I love it.
So I came on out. But it's been great. I've been here for 8 months now, and the girls are working really hard. And I think our program is thriving because it's a lot of fun. We're really loose. There's a high expectation. I think Coach Jack and I are pretty similar in our expectations and how we run our programs. And so I think the results are kind of speaking for itself on both ends.
Well, let me say this. I went to the game. I guess we played. It might have been Alabama State. It was.
This weekend.
No. It was a week I think before homecoming.
Jackson.
I was there. Regardless, I was amazed at what you all did, and I loved it. That's first. Secondly, I was like, oh, she kind of jazz. You had them heels on. You was rocking up. Listen, it's nothing like, being able to see a coach still rock the fashion while she's being an athlete. You're an ex-athlete, right?
I am.
So tell us about your history of playing the sport.
So I'm originally from Indiana.
Okay.
And so I was a basketball player.
Okay.
So basketball was my first love, and volleyball and ran track in high school, just kind of get ready for basketball. Played basketball and volleyball in college. It was a small Division II school.
Okay.
And then played professional volleyball in Europe for 4 years afterwards, before I started television and then coaching. So.
Got it.
Yeah.
So you now those, even playing overseas or just playing in the sport of basketball or even the sport of volleyball, were there winning seasons that you played on?
Oh yeah.
So I'm just talking about the pedigree, because now to be a new coach at this institution and to be having this much success can kind of send a message like, oh, she's gonna be off the chain. Well, how does it feel to know that you didn't have to go through particular type of things to get them there this fast?
Well, I think the girls were hungry to win. It's not like this was a bad team. They had some success last year, and they just didn't get all the way to where we're hoping to get to. So we're not there yet to where they were, but we're working really hard. We have high expectations, and we believe in ourselves. What I did was just come in and implement a couple of things that can kind of turn some things around, and just gave them the freedom to have fun. Volleyball's fun. We're not curing cancer. We're just bopping balls around, so we need to be able to enjoy it.
Like
you know what I mean? And so we, along with that fun, we get a lot of work done. And so it's teaching people how to win. I think Coach Jack just said that, teaching those around you how to win and what that actually looks like on a day-to-day basis, and the level of expectation that comes with it on a day-to-day basis. So as we talk about, wanting to win the SWAC, we still got to beat TSU on Saturday. You know what I mean?
That's
so
right.
It's like taking it moment to moment, practice by practice. We put a huge onus on practice and the level of practice in which we do that with. And so if we can maintain our expectation and level of practice, then games are pretty fun for us.
I love it. Natasha, you are a fan. You were telling me all about Coach Dottie. Now, I want you to not talk to her as a friend or somebody that's supporting. Tell me what you think about the program from a fan perspective.
Yeah.
I want to make sure this is out there. We just met for the first time.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
Like 2 minutes ago.
I am just a study of sports.
That
So-
just,
Yes.
but that says a lot about you. If you
Yes.
made y'all look like friends.
Well, good, but I just wanted to make sure that it didn't come across bias when we have this conversation.
no.
And so I'm looking back at the overall trajectory of the team from, a few years back, not even making the SWAC tournament, then to getting into the SWAC tournament, and just in a short period of time of having 3 coaches, you being now the 3rd head coach. And so I want to give you that praise, because it's hard when you have young ladies. I know for sure there are some on the team who have went through the 3 head coaches, and they're buying into you, and it's obvious in the record. And so I just want to know, going back to the beginning of the season, what was it like when you arrived to be able to get them going again? Because like I said, 3 coaches in one tenure of being on a team is a lot.
Yeah, and so I actually got here in March, like when they were on spring break.
Okay.
And I had a core 7. The core 7 was mainly made up of the seniors, the juniors going to be seniors who's gone through those coaching changes. And my first duty was to get to know them, create the relationship with them, understand what their thoughts and feelings were going through those coaching changes. But what is it that you want? Like, you're about to be a senior. This is going to be your last hurrah. What is it that you actually want out of this? And we had a lot of conversations. I had Zoom calls with them and their families. Family's very important to me. So I had calls with them and their families. I do a thing called Coffee with Coach. So we can just sit and we can talk about anything else other than volleyball, right? Because we talk about volleyball all the time. But I want to know what your likes, your dislikes are, what you want to do in the world after you leave here, what kind of woman you want to be, and so how I can help in that manner. And so laying that foundation, that groundwork, I think was a catalyst to them buying in, because they understand who I am too. I'm I'm pretty open and honest with them too. If you ask them, it's a lot of sharing going on. And so it's not just one way. I don't require something of them that I'm not going to give to them as well. And so, having that, I think anything that I have taught them, especially coming from that core 7, they've also passed it along to the new people. So I didn't have to do a lot of teaching in the beginning because they took the reins, because they told me what they wanted and what kind of team aspect they wanted, what kind of teammates they wanted, and what kind of leaders they wanted to be to those young ladies coming in. So it's just a familial thing. And if we had a team bonding event today, if you see my girls, I call them the gang, because they are always together. It's not 1 or 2, it's not 3 or 4, it's all 15 of them. They're just rolling around just like one big group, always, because they enjoy each other's company. They like each other genuinely. They have relationships with one another, and it makes it easier to coach when you have that on your team. And so anything, I can teach them how to jump rope, and they'll go with it because it is
well,
what
we
it
hope
is.
you jumping into that SWAC tournament, because I know there's a cutoff there.
Yeah.
And so, as you said, you have a big match coming up on Saturday.
do.
And keeping along with Coach Jack's theory, you're just taking it one match at a time.
Yeah.
But I just want to make sure I also explain to the viewers that, there's one thing in football, but in volleyball, you could play all season and not even have an opportunity to compete for the SWAC
That's right.
tournament.
Yeah, they only take 8, and there's 12 of us.
Right. So there's some people left at home. And so that, like I said, that goes back to a testament that I said there was a time when they didn't even make the tournament. And so are you looking to try to be able to host? Do you want to say that, to host a match? Because
so how they do it in volleyball is every year it rotates from school to school. I would love to be able to host the SWAC tournament at PV. I think it would be really good exposure for volleyball and how dynamic it actually really is to an environment or a group of people who kind of like it. Like, we all know about the backyard and the church, church volleyball. This is volleyball on a high level, and anybody that comes to see these athletes play will be really impressed. Really impressed. I know we had a long preseason, and every single coach we played was like, "Yo, you have something really
that's
special
how I felt.
doing here."
I mean,
Really
I was
something
very
special.
impressed. I was very impressed at their athletic ability. Let me ask you this: since you played professionally, do you feel like you have some young ladies that can actually go professional?
I encourage that all the time.
Yeah.
A European experience. Right now in the U.S. we have 2 professional leagues, and it's mainly built up of Power 5, Power 4 players, which, I mean, it's cool, and some major international players. But over in Europe, there's a first division, there's a second division, there's a third division, and there's opportunities for you to play at any level, anywhere. You just have to get out there. So I'm always encouraging them to go and test it while you can, while your knees are still good, while your back is still good, while your shoulder's still on. Yeah, so go over, because it was a really turning point experience for me to be able to go over there and do that, make money, obviously, and then continue the career that I had. So
That's good. Ladies and gentlemen, listen, this young lady is definitely doing some big things as it relates to women's volleyball. I want to make sure some of our viewers know exactly how to follow the team or social media. I want to make sure you give that out. We know what they normally follow, but
social media
listen, okay.
We're on Instagram.
Okay.
PVAMU Volleyball. We're on Facebook. PVAMU_volleyball. Yeah, I think those are the 2 places you can. And then Panther. The Panther site, you can always
PVPanthers.com.
Yeah.
So listen, y'all. Coach Dottie Hampton is right here. Get to know her. Make sure you continue to be able to follow what they are doing, because I'm telling you, at the end of the day, the one game I saw, it still sticks with me. I sat there and I was learning, meaning match-wise. I was understanding, and I had to ask a few people that was next to me, because again, I'm the backyard player at the family reunion. But at the end of the day, I was right there, first row, and I was like, I was highly impressed. So continue what you're doing. God bless you. God bless your season. Continue moving on, and we are definitely ready to go. That's right, y'all. So PV,
you know.
So we'll see y'all in a minute. We'll be right back. Don't you move.
At Prairie View A&M University, excellence isn't just a word, it's our legacy. A legacy nearly 150 years in the making. You see it in our nationally ranked programs, groundbreaking research, and in our nearly 90,000 proud alumni transforming communities across the globe. Prairie View A&M University. Changemakers are bred here. Pioneers emerge here. Excellence lives here. Your brilliance belongs here. Start your journey at pvamu.edu.
All right, y'all, we're back to the Tremaine Jackson Coaches Show. Once again, we're Panther Football Talk back. Listen, we are getting ready for something this weekend. I don't know if it's considered another trial and tribulation, but Coach, we got Alabama A&M. Let's talk about it. What are your expectations? What should we look forward to, and what are the players ready for?
Yeah, it's our first far road trip where we're getting on a flight.
Okay.
To go. We got to go through security and the charter line.
Yeah.
Do all these things that our guys haven't done together before, right?
Okay.
We're used to get on the bus and headed on to where we're going. Only time we're going to be on the bus is going to and from the airport, right?
Right,
so
right.
it's a new experience, but we got a really good opponent in Alabama A&M. Don't really know what we're going to get. They've had some injuries. They've had a couple of quarterbacks hurt. Their starter for the season is out. The second guy got hurt. The third guy kind of got nicked up, concussion. So last week they played who they would say is their four-string quarterback. Nothing about him looked four-string to me.
Wow.
He looked like he could operate the offense, and they got into a slugfest with Grambling. And so, again, like I said earlier, a lot of guys seem to come back when Prairie View A&M comes to town. So I expect them to be full strength. This will be my third time coaching against Coach Shade, their head coach. We just coached against him last November in the Division II playoffs when he was at Miles and we were at the other place. We coached against him in 2022. So we're familiar with each other from a staffing standpoint, from a schematic standpoint.
Okay.
So I think it's a really interesting match. That stadium, Louis Cruz, has always been tough to play in, even back when I was a player. It's always been a tough place to play. It's always been kind of a tough trip. And so we got to make sure that we're ready to go. Those guys are undefeated at home. And so it's one of those deals where you got to – they're at the point now where they're playing for next year, right?
Right.
They're trying to lay the foundation, do things for next year, and they openly say that.
So they're not going to come out and lay down.
No.
And
then his teams don't do that anyway.
Right.
They've always fought hard, even when he had a tough first year at Miles. So we expect to get the best shot they got.
That's right.
And we got to go in and shoot our best shot.
That's right.
Because we got to get a road win. We're in need of a win to get this taste out of our mouth. That's been
like
for
that.
the last 6 days.
Natasha, what do you think about Alabama A&M?
I think we could get rid of the whole state of Alabama. No, I'm just kidding. Actually, it's the same thing. They haven't lost at home, and it's one of those things where if you're Alabama A&M, you also are trying to rain on someone else's parade.
That's right.
And so there's a different hunger there. And so that goes back to what you said earlier about keeping your guys with the main thing. So that's how I would prepare for it. I think the biggest goal is for, our team to go in being who they are. I know you're saying you're still working through the identity, but who you are right now and who you want to be remembered for. Because as you tell them, we're halfway through November at this point when you get ready to play, and you're setting the tone of who people will think of for Prairie View's football team. Mm-hmm. And so it's up to you. How do you want to be remembered? Because sometimes you have to ask that question. How do you want to be remembered? Yeah. So on Sunday morning, how do you want to be remembered? Not December, not the end, but Sunday morning, what do you want to be remembered for? Yeah. A fight, you thought you had it at 21-7 and start getting lackadaisical. So I think travel is important to mention. Just sometimes that's the part too. Like sometimes a long travel or unique travel or the opportunity to travel. Somebody may be their first flight. You never really know, right? And so it's about making sure the guys are prepared for the off the field as much as on the field. Mm-hmm. Don't get caught up in the hype. I always see the bowl games and the kids always have the cameras out and they're filming the stadium and they all excited about the city they in and you came in to play football. Right. So that's what I would think of, because in Alabama on every level, Division II, Division I, SWAC, other Power Fours, football is important.
It is.
And so they gonna show up, be ready to put in a fight, and we just got to be able to match their fight.
Absolutely.
Do you feel like this week of preparation, Coach, how do you feel about the way you've prepared for it?
Yeah, I think our guys, it had been a long time since we lost, to be quite honest. And we hadn't lost since Rice. And so it had been a while since we knew what that felt like, right? And so I think they snapped back out of it in the right way. We've had a decent week. I don't ever like saying we had a great week. Right? There's always something we could have been better at.
That's right.
Even myself. And so we had a decent week of prep, and for what we saw on film, we practiced what we saw, what we think we might get, and then we'll just have to go out and play it on Saturday. You don't know if you had a good week until you win or not. You win the game? Man, we had a great week. We had a great week, boy. That week, I tell you what, boy, that Tuesday practice, you don't win, it was a bad week. And so we just kind of live in that moment, man. We'll find out after the game. It's not like taking a biology test. You know what I mean? Our test is public.
That's right.
Our test is public, and everybody knows what we got.
That's right.
When we get it, right?
Know your test code.
We got to make sure that we're ready to go and we're firing on all cylinders.
So let me ask you this, Coach, and this is before we wrap up. The one thing I think that's very important is that you have become very known provocatively on Twitter and all of that for some of the things you've said and done in a good way, not nothing outrageous. However, what provocative statement will you say to just the followers, the fans, and people about this weekend and what they need to do in order to be able to kind of push you all into that next dub?
Yeah, I think the players deserve your support. But whether you support us or not, we got to go play.
That's right.
And so we're so locked in on what we got to do now. That was another thing that was before November. Like I did a lot of that Twitter and all that stuff. Man, I ain't putting out no more videos. It's go time.
It's go time.
November, right? So whoever's supporting, I remember faces. I really appreciate that. The players really appreciate that. Whoever's a weatherman and keeps talking about it's gonna rain and making excuses, whatever. The game gonna
elements
be played,
are
right?
part of it.
And so we're just excited to have the opportunity to get on a plane and go to Alabama and play and see what this football team can do.
That's what I'm talking about. So listen, y'all, once again, this is the Tremaine Jackson Coaches Show. I got to make sure, again, we shout out our sponsors. Shout out to Mustang Cat. Definitely big shout out to Memorial Herman. And, I'm sorry. Did I say that? Houston Memorial. My bad.
Houston Methodist.
Houston Methodist. Well, I'm all over the place. I got about 19,000 hospitals in Houston. In the meantime and in between time, I want to make sure I shout out Quotes, because Quotes always gives us definitely great food and all that, but boy, this patio is amazing. And also, big shout out to Thurston. She's always holding us down, too. Dr. Cruz, man, enough said. Well, the other thing I want to make sure I do is y'all got to make sure y'all subscribe to that channel. That is PVAMU Athletics. You want to make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. Make sure you share it. They say use your forefinger and just hit the share button. It won't take too much. It's almost like Coach says, just make sure you support the team, all right, and all that we do. Again, thank you again to Natasha Gransberry for being able to hold us down all the time here on the Tremaine Jackson Coaches Show. I am Karl Mays. Whatever you do, don't do nothing we wouldn't do. Do everything we would. We'll see y'all next week.
Go Panthers.
Big rivalries, big wins, and continuing legacies. Since 1920, the Southwestern Athletic Conference has been more than just a league. It's been a movement. From the roaring crowds to sold-out stadiums, year after year, SWAC leads the nation in FCS attendance. And now, the wait is over. Welcome to SWAC TV, your free all-access pass to the soul of the conference. Every rivalry, every win, every championship moment, captured, streamed, and celebrated. Stream SWAC TV, available on Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV, Google Play, and Android TV. SWAC TV, where history is made and moments live forever.